guys, welcome back. So I figured we best have a video on which resin for which job. If you're new to resin, welcome. This is an addictive world. I'm glad you found me. But you might be wondering which Apex resin to go for. So I'm going to give you a quick whistle-stop tour on all of them. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll think, actually, I need them all. That would be really good. But you might think, actually, no, I just need this one. Thanks, Lou, for helping me. No problem. You can always give the girls at Apex a message, and I'll put the details at the bottom here and in the text, or you can message me for everything around the resin, pigments, glitters, tools, workshops. You can visit my Cotswold studios, or we can do a Zoom and Bloom. You'd be very welcome. Okay, let's start off in where you might like to consider starting out at. So we have got Apex One Coat and Apex High Gloss. These are your artwork resins. They are wonderful resins for creating beach art, any kind of artwork. Maybe you want to have a little go at making coasters. Maybe you just want to have a little go working with moulds and doing shallow pours. It's important to note that these resins work best for shallow work. So we wouldn't be making tables with these resins, but we would work with shallow moulds. They have a wonderful finish. They are quick curing and they have a professional finish too. So if you're thinking that you want to make for business or for gifts or to sell or anything like that, these professional resins are super easy to use and quite safe to use at home in your craft rooms. They are non-toxic and they have all the details on the back of the bottles should you need to know more about this. If there's any technical details that you need to know about, drop it in the comments and we'll help you, or give myself or the girls at Apex a message and we'll definitely help you. When you buy a kit of resin, you get 2 bottles. I haven't got enough space to have both bottles on the table, but you would get Apex Resin, which is here, and you'd get Apex Hardener. The artwork resins always are measured in a 1-to-1 ratio by volume. So that means if you use 100 mils of resin, you're also going to use 100 mils of hardener. We tend to measure by volume, and you can get some scales that measure volume. You can measure by weight, but the ratio is slightly different. It'll say on the side of the bottle or on the instructions that come in the box. If you measure by weight, just take notice that you will have a little bit of hardener left in the bottle when you come to the end because the ratio is slightly out. So if you can get into a good habit of measuring by volume, you'll definitely want to do that. We're working with our resins at the moment in the UK under immense heat. It's super hot at the moment. We must not complain, but the resins do find it harder to last as long when we're working with them. So normally 20 to 30 minutes with the one coat, but you might find in super hot conditions 5 or 10 minutes less of work time is often the case. In the winter months, what you're going to do is you're going to stand the resin bottle only, not the hardener, in a bowl of recently boiled kettle water. This is simply to reduce and improve the viscosity, reduce the bubbles. And you don't do it with the hardener because, of course, it's the hardener that has all the magic properties in there. And if we heat the hardener up, we could potentially cause our resin to cure super quickly, and we don't want that. We want maximum work time. So enough said about the technical details. Touch dry in 2 hours. You have a full cure after 24 hours, but you could potentially demold at the end of the day. So if you made with this resin in the morning, you could demold in the afternoon, and that would be absolutely fine. It is phenomenal for making coaster makes, tray makes, artworks, anything at all that is a shallow piece of artwork would be great. It's got a resistance for heat of up to 120 degrees Celsius, which is just phenomenal. So super hot cups, bone china mugs, all of that can go on your resin pieces once they have fully cured, and they would be good to go. Now, why might you pick high gloss over one coat? Because they are both artwork resins. So one coat is much thicker in density. It feels really thick, which is brilliant in the artwork world, because if you're trying to get this beautiful laced effect, which is done, by the way, with my puffball white pigment, and you can get all your pigments on my website, the thicker the resin, the easier it is to hold beautiful designs like this. High gloss is a little bit more runny. When we're mixing it, it feels a little bit runnier. So there's a place for it. It's great for artwork resin, but it maneuvers across the surface a lot easier. You can still get beautiful lace effects with high gloss, but it is a little bit runnier, so it's more likely to move. It is super shiny once cured, and that is why our customers absolutely love this resin. It is shiny, it is glossy, it cures with that beautiful shellac finish. Again, it has a 25 to 30 minute work time and works brilliantly in a room environment of around 18 to 25 degrees, as with all of the Apex resins. It has a heat resistance of up to 90 degrees Celsius, so not as much as this one, but still outstanding and still wonderful for making coaster makes if you wanted to use that for this one too. So it really does depend on whether you want a slightly runnier, watery resin, or whether you want a thicker and more gloopier resin if you're trying to do beautiful blooms. Maybe you've got into the world of resin floral coasters and you want to have a go at doing some designs in your resins. That would be really great with this resin. If you're thinking of making super shiny mould work and you want to work with moulds like this one, again, you absolutely could use either, but the high gloss would come out so shiny. And look at that design with the cell magic in there as well. That's just so beautiful. You can use either or of these resins when you're making jewellery makes. Perhaps you want to have a little go at making and doing some beautiful floral designs. Maybe you want to experiment with backdrops of colour. These resins, the artwork resins, high gloss and one coat, both make beautiful pendants and are a very great resin for professional jewellery work as well. So do have a think about which one. You could use both, it doesn't matter. Which then takes me on to the world of UV. If you're not very patient and you're a bit like me and you want to make a piece and have it ready within the hour, within a few minutes even, then you're going to absolutely opt for the Apex UV resin. In my opinion, this is the only jewellery resin I will use on workshops. It is so amazing. It is anti-yellowing, it is super hard, it is super resistant, it works brilliantly with flowers, and it is quick curing under a professional UV lamp that you can buy yourself offline, easy peasy. And again, the most important thing is it is non-toxic and super quick to cure. We use it a lot in the Bloom Studios when we're working with open-backed jewellery and special precious flowers like that, because of course you need a resin that isn't going to damage precious flowers. This resin has a phenomenal ability to dome. You get that lovely bulbous finish, and I think this resin is an essential for all you crafters just starting out. You can use it as a glue and a fixative too. As long as the UV light can get to the resin to cure it, it's going to be phenomenal. Non-toxic, scratch resistant and a glass-like finish, and it's my favourite. Moving on from that resin, so this brings me to the quantum resins. Now, they are part of the Apex family, and they are very special resins for making beautiful tumblers. You'll have seen these resin tumblers taking storm across the socials. And it's no wonder, because these resins are beautiful to work with. Now, a bit like the artwork resins that we've just spoken about, these are a much thicker viscosity, so they are super amazing at creating patterns, storms, techniques and areas of interest in your tumbling makes. Because they are so thick and gloopy, you can pull your resin, you can do designs in them. They hold alcohol ink exceptionally well, especially when you're using opaque resin pigments. Remember, pigment densities vary between the different types, so you need a resin that can carry them all, no problem. If you're just starting out, this is the one that you're going to be most interested in. This is your Apex Quantum regular set, and it is super wonderful to work with. So with the regular set, you have about 40 minutes playtime, which is ample opportunity if you're just starting out in the resin world, and especially the tumbling world. It is 24 hours for a full cure, but this is the exciting bit. This is really important. These quantums are food safe. Now, there's a whole load of information over on the Apex websites if you need to know more details about this and how they are food safe. They have to be used as a clear top coat to achieve the food safety element. If they've got inks and pigments in, that's not food safe, so you'd need to do a clear top coat to enable them to be food safe. But loads of information on both of our websites about that. They are also heat resistant up to 90 degrees Celsius, making them absolutely perfect for the drinking cups, the vessels, everything that you're making. So if you've already had a little go with these resins, or you've bought my Bloom Turn kit, which I'll put a little picture here, that's a very popular kit to get you going with everything you need in it, then you might think, well, why do I need to know about the regular, the fast set resin? And the fast set resin is a professional tumbling resin for our professional talented artists that you'll see over on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. They are a great inspiration if you want to learn more. Go and check them out. They're wonderful makers, but they will make lots of cups, vessels, baubles, anything really, but they'll make several at once. So they'll have multiple turners on the go. And if they're going to top coat, they'll probably use this resin and top coat all their creations at once. So it's a great resin for that. But also the thickness and viscosity of this resin really helps those artists to make beautiful feathered designs, pull beautiful pigments and make just super beautiful patterns in their resin. So this is a little bit more of an advanced tumbling resin. It is super quick curing, so you've got only about 20 minutes work time in comparison to the 40 minutes with this one. But again, super tough and durable with shore hardnesses of 85 and scratch resistance. So people are using them to create artworks as well, because they just love that super thick finish on them, and they love to be able to get the lacing and the patterns and all of that. So don't rule it out just for cups. It is also got its place next to the Apex One Coat and the Apex High Gloss. And then I'm going to talk about the final resin, which is my absolute favourite, deep cast resin. Now this one feels like water when you're mixing it up. It's a real treat after you've been using the artwork resins to then jump to this one. It's just so beautiful to work with. Now it's around about 24 hours to 36 hours for a cure on it. This time actually varies from person to person, depending on their environment, depending on the weather, depending on what they're making. So if you're pouring really deep, like a huge a few feet squared table, then you're going to have a quick cure on it. But if you're going to pour a smaller pour, such as a charcuterie board like this one here, it'll take a bit longer to cure. So the deeper it is, the quicker the cure. It's like a glass-like finish. This resin is exceptional and beautiful for working with wood, tables, castings, big projects, bridal bouquets, all of that. It is wonderful up to a 15 centimetre depth. We do push it a bit more than that and it's absolutely fine, but a general rule of thumb is 15 centimetres deep and you're going to get a phenomenal cure. If you work too deep with it, of course, it's going to cure probably too quickly for you, and you don't want that, especially if you're working with precious flowers. We need to keep the exotherms and the heat down for a better cure. It is heat resistant up to 120 degrees C. As with the artwork resins and deep cast, they are food safe for incidental contact. So not for eating off, but for displaying foods for short times, no problem. Shore hardness is phenomenal. It's 95, so it's super scratch resistant. It is absolutely a wonderful resin, a very, very easy resin to use, and personally one of my favourites. Now, if you are going to use it for small makes and shallow makes like this beautiful floral mould here, then you will find that it takes a lot longer to cure. You might be waiting 3 days for a piece this shallow to cure. So wonderful pieces, wonderful resins. I hope that helps. There's a lot of information there. I do hope that if you're not sure, you're confident enough to give me a message or the girls at Apex, because we want you guys to have the very best with your resins. We want you to show us on socials what you're up to, how you're pushing the resins and making beautiful pieces. Personally, I think when you're starting out, it's great to have a little adventure and play with maybe 2 types of resin. So my advice would be get yourself an artwork resin to get going with, and maybe a UV resin, and then see how you get on. Lots of inspiration over on the Apex channels, as well as the Create and Bloom channels as well. I'd love to see what you get up to. Drop me a comment if you've been to one of my workshops or you're planning on coming and saying hello to us. We would love to welcome you. Please subscribe. Thank you if you have done already, and I'll see you on the next video.